This is the Sakar Murli of the 10th of March 2025. Essence. Sweet children, you have to study and teach human beings this education for becoming deities. Show everyone the path to the land of peace and the land of happiness. Question. What are the signs of Satopratan effort makers? Answer. They make others equal to themselves. They continue to benefit many. They fill their aprons with the wealth of this knowledge and donate it. They claim the inheritance for 21 births and also enable others to claim it. Song. Salutations to Shiva. Om Shanti. You are sitting directly in front of the one whom the devotees praise. Therefore you should have so much happiness. You say to him, salutations to Shiva. However, you don't have to pay him homage. Children remember their father, they don't pay homage to him. That one is also the father. You receive the inheritance from him. You don't pay homage to him, you remember him. The soul in the body remembers him. The Father has taken this body on loan. He shows us the way to claim the unlimited inheritance from the Father. You also know very well that the Golden Age is a land of happiness, and that the place where souls reside is called the land of peace. It is in your intellects. We are the residents of the land of peace. This Iron Age is definitely called a land of sorrow. You know that we souls are now studying to go to heaven, to become deities from human beings. Lakshmi and Narayan are deities. You have to become deities from human beings for that new world. You are studying with the Father. Each one studies to a different extent. The efforts some of you make are very intense, whereas the efforts of others are slack. Those who are Satopratan effort makers enable others to make effort, number-wise, in order to make them equal to themselves. They bring benefit to many. To the extent that you fill your aprons with this wealth and donate it, so there will be accordingly that much benefit. Human beings make donations, then in their next birth they receive a return of that for a short time. In that too there is a little happiness, and the rest is sorrow, and only sorrow. You, however, receive the happiness of heaven for 21 births. Look how different the happiness of heaven is from this sorrow. You receive unlimited happiness in heaven from the unlimited Father. People donate money and perform acts of charity in the name of God. That is indirect. You are now directly in front of him. The Father now sits here and explains. On the path of devotion, if donations and charity are carried out by people in the name of God, they then receive the return of that in their next birth. If someone does something good, he receives a good return. If someone does something bad or commits sin, etc., he receives the return of that accordingly. Here in the Iron Age, sins continue to be committed. Charity is not performed at all. At the most, happiness received is temporary. However, you become constantly happy for your future 21 births in the Golden Age. Its name is the Land of Happiness. You can write in the exhibitions that this is the path to the land of peace and the land of happiness. This is an easy path to go to the land of peace and the land of happiness. It is now the Iron Age. This is an easy road for going from the Iron Age to the Golden Age, going from the impure world to the pure world without spending a shell. Human beings will then understand. Because they have stone intellects, the Father makes it very easy for you to explain to them. Its name, after all, is Easy Raj Yoga, easy knowledge. The Father makes you children so sensible. Lakshmi and Narayan are sensible. Many things have been written about Sri Krishna, but they are false allegations. Sri Krishna said, "Ma, I didn't eat the butter." They don't even understand the meaning of "I didn't eat the butter." Then who did? A child is fed milk. Would a child eat butter, or would he drink milk? All of those things that have been portrayed, such as breaking the butter pot, etc., there is no such thing. He is, after all, the first Prince of Heaven. Praise is only of one Shiv Baba. No one else in the world is praised. At this time everyone is impure, but there is also praise of the path of devotion. The rosary of devotees is remembered. Among the females, Meera is famous. Among the males, mainly Narad has been remembered. You know that one is the rosary of devotees, and that the other one is the rosary of this knowledge. From the rosary of devotees, they become part of the rosary of Rudra. Then the rosary of Vishnu is created from the rosary of Rudra. The rosary of Rudra is of the confluence age. This secret is in the intellects of you children. The Father sits directly in front of you and explains all of these things. When you sit directly in front of Baba, you should have goose pimples. Oh, my 100-fold fortune! From being 100% unfortunate, we become 100 times fortunate. Kumaris have not experienced the sword of lust. The Father says that is the sword of lust. This knowledge is also called a sword. The Father has said, weapons of this knowledge have been shown on the goddesses as physical weapons. Those are violent things. Human beings don't know what the discus of self-realization is. By portraying Sri Krishna in the scriptures with the discus of self-realization, they have shown violence and only violence. In fact, it is a matter of this knowledge. You have now become spinners of the discus of self-realization. They have shown that as a thing of violence. You children have now received knowledge of yourselves, that is, of the cycle. Baba says, you are the mouth-born children of Brahma, the decoration of the Brahmin clan, and spinners of the discus of self-realization. Only you understand the meaning of this. You have this knowledge of 84 births and the world cycle. Initially in the Golden Age there is the Sun Dynasty religion, then the Moon Dynasty. Both of them together are called heaven. Amongst you, all of these things are number-wise in each one's intellect. Baba has taught you, and you have studied and become clever. In the same way, you now have to bring benefit to others. You have to become spinners of the discus of self-realization. Until you become the mouth-born progeny of Brahma, how can you claim the inheritance from Shiv Baba? You have now become Brahmins. You shouldn't forget that you are claiming the inheritance from Shiv Baba. Note down these points. This ladder is of 84 births. It is easy to come down a ladder. When they climb stairs, look how they climb, with one hand pressed on their back at the waist. However, there is also a lift. Baba now comes to give you a lift. The ascending stage is attained in a second. You children should have the happiness that it is now our ascending stage. We have found our most beloved Baba. There can be nothing as lovely as he. Sages and sannyasis, etc., whoever they all remember the one beloved. All are his lovers, but who is he? They understand nothing of this. They just say he is omnipresent. You know that Shiv Baba is now teaching us through this one. Shiv Baba doesn't have a body of his own. He is the Supreme Soul. The Supreme Soul means God, whose name is Shiva. Each soul has a separate name for his body. There is only the one Supreme Soul who is called Shiva. Human beings have given him many different names. They have built a variety of temples to him. You now understand the meaning of that. In Bombay there is a temple to Babunath, the Lord of Thorns. At this time he changes you into flowers from thorns. You become the masters of the world. So the first and main thing is the Father of Souls is one. It is only from him that the people of Bharat receive this inheritance. Lakshmi and Narayan are the masters of Bharat. They are not from China. If they were from China, their features would be different. They belong to Bharat. Initially, souls are beautiful, and then they become ugly. Alloy is mixed into souls. They become ugly. The example is about them. A buzzing moth changes an ant and makes it equal to itself. What do sannyasis change? They make those who wear white clothes wear saffron clothes and shave their heads. You, however, take this knowledge. You will become as beautiful as Lakshmi and Narayan. Even nature is now Tamo Pradhan. This earth is also Tamo Pradhan. It causes damage. There are storms in the sky. They cause so much damage. Calamities and upheavals continue to take place. In this world now, there is supreme sorrow. There will be supreme happiness. The Father takes you from supreme sorrow to supreme happiness. Destruction of this world takes place, and then everything becomes Sattva Pradhan. Now make effort and claim as much of the inheritance as you want to claim from the Father. Otherwise, you will have to repent at the end. Baba came, but we didn't do anything. It is written, when the haystack is set ablaze, they will wake up from the sleep of Kumbhakarna. They will then cry out in despair and die. After the cries of despair, there will be cries of victory. There is despair in the Iron Age. They continue to kill each other. Many will die. After the Iron Age, it will then definitely be the Golden Age. Between them there is this confluence age. This is called the auspicious confluence age. The Father shows you a good way to become Satopratan from Tamopratan. He says, just remember me. You are not to do anything else. You children don't even need to bow your heads, etc. now. If someone puts his palms together in front of Baba, Baba says, neither do you, a soul, have hands, nor does the Father. So to whom are you putting your palms together? There shouldn't be a single sign of the Iron Age path of devotion. O soul, why do you put your palms together? Just remember me, the Father. Remembrance does not mean putting your palms together. Human beings will even put their palms together to the sun. Some will also put their palms together to a Mahatma. You don't need to put your palms together. This is the body that I have taken on loan. If someone puts his palms together to you, you have to put your palms together to him in return. You have to understand this. I am a soul. I have to become free from the bondage of this body. We are now to return home. It is as though there is distaste for this body. This old body has to be discarded, just like in the example of a snake. Even a buzzing moth has enough sense to make ants into buzzing moths. You children have to remove those who are floundering in the ocean of vices and take them into the ocean of milk. The Father now says, let's go to the land of peace. Human beings are beating their heads so much for peace. Sannyasis don't receive the liberation in life of heaven. Yes, they do receive liberation. They are free from sorrow and go and sit in the land of peace. Souls initially go down into liberation in life, then later on they enter lives of bondage. Souls are Satopratan, and then they come down the ladder. At first they experience happiness, and then while descending they have to become Tamopratan. Now, once again, the Father has come to take everyone back home. The Father says, remember me and you will become pure. The Father has explained, when human beings leave their bodies, they suffer a great deal of difficulty because they have to experience punishment. For example, they sacrifice themselves on the sword at Kashi because they have heard that by sacrificing oneself to Shiva, one receives liberation. You sacrifice yourselves now. So these aspects then also continue on the path of devotion. They go and sacrifice themselves to Shiva. The Father now explains, no one can return to that home. Yes, they do sacrifice themselves such that their sins are cut away. Then their accounts begin again, anew. You now know this world cycle. At this time it is everyone's descending stage. The Father says, I come and bestow salvation on everyone. I take everyone home. However, I wouldn't take anyone impure back with me. Therefore you become pure so that your lamp can be ignited. At the time of a wedding, they ignite a light in a pot and place it on the head of the bride. This custom only exists in Bharat. It is not lit and placed on the head of the groom, because it is said of the husband that he is her God. How would you then ignite a light on God? The Father explains, my light is already ignited. I ignite your life. The Father is also called the light. The people of Brahm Samajis believe in the light. A flame is kept constantly lit. They will only remember that. They only consider that to be God. Others then think that each little light, each soul, will emerge into the big light, the Supreme Soul. There are so many opinions. The Father says, your religion is one that gives so much happiness. In heaven you see a lot of happiness. In the new world you become deities. Your study is definitely for the new world. All other studies are for here. Here you have to study and attain a status for the future. In the Gita too, Raj Yoga was taught. Then, at the end, there was a war and nothing was left. A dog is shown with the Pandavas. Now the Father says, I make you into gods and goddesses. Here there are human beings who cause many different types of sorrow. By using the sword of lust, one experiences so much sorrow. So you children should now have the happiness that the unlimited Father, the ocean of knowledge, is teaching us. He is the most beloved of all beloveds. We lovers remember him for half a cycle. You have continued to remember him. The Father says, now that I have come, follow my directions. Consider yourselves to be souls and remember me, the Father, and no one else. Without you having remembrance of me, your sins will not be burnt away. Continue to ask the surgeon for advice about everything. The Father will advise you. Fulfill your responsibilities in this way. If you follow advice, you will receive multi-millions at every step. When you follow advice, your responsibility finishes. Acha. To you, the sweetest beloved, long lost and now found children, love, remembrance and good morning from the Mother, the Father, Bapdada. The spiritual Father says Namaste to you, spiritual children, and the spiritual children say Namaste to the spiritual Father. Essence for Dana 1. In order to claim your inheritance of the unlimited happiness from the unlimited Father, make donations and perform charity in the name of God directly. Fill your apron with the wealth of this knowledge and donate it to everyone. 2. At this auspicious confluence age, liberate yourself from all bondage and become liberated in life. Be like a buzzing moth and do the service of making others equal to yourself. Blessing. May you constantly be powerful by experiencing all attainments, and so become an embodiment of success. Those who are images of all attainments are powerful. Only such powerful souls who experience all attainments can become embodiments of success. Souls of the world are now wondering where the souls are who are master bestowers of happiness and peace. When you have a stock of all powers, you will be able to make everyone content. Nowadays you are able to obtain everything from one store, so you have to become the same. Let it not be that someone has the power to tolerate, but not the power to face. You need to have a stock of all the powers, for only then will you be able to become an embodiment of success. Slogan: the codes of conduct are the steps to Brahmin life. To place your steps in the Father's steps means to move closer to your destination. Aviat signal. Adopt the culture of truth and good manners. Nowadays, some children speak a special language. They say that they can't bear to see or hear anything false. That is why when they see or hear something untrue, they become very forceful. However, if the other person is false, but you become forceful on seeing that falseness, then your force too is untrue. In order to finish any type of falsehood, imbibe the power of truth within yourself. Om Shanti.